Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. It's the best quote that I could find to describe the legacy left behind by the TU7 and TU9 Tutorial Worlds. When both versions of this amazing world were released, they were overshadowed by what came along with them, and I think at that moment in time, many didn't fully acknowledge the true value that they brought. The TU7 Tutorial World, for example, was originally released on December 19th, 2012 with the 7th title update. This update brought along with it not only the 4th new tutorial world, but also as well Mushroom Islands, Nether Fortresses, Enchanting, Brewing, Potions, Villagers, and so much more. The second more updated version, which will be the version I'll be playing on today, is the TU9 Tutorial World, which was released later on April 4th, 2013 with the 9th title update, and just like with the TU7 update, this update also somewhat overshadowed the new tutorial world. If you thought the TU7 was a big update that brought along obviously Nether Fortresses, Enchanting, Brewing, and Villagers and whatnot, TU9 blew that update out the park by bringing along item frames, spawn eggs, sandstone stairs, fire charges, wooden buttons, the end dimension with of course the biggest feature of them all, the Ender Dragon, making this one of the most impactful and game-changing updates of Minecraft's history. And even though this was the first tutorial world physical disc owners who bought Minecraft on the Xbox 360 got to play on, with all the new features that came along with it, many just simply didn't get to fully appreciate the beauty of this incredible world. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to what is yet again another brand new video on my channel. Today, as mentioned in the preview, I'm going to be talking about Minecraft's 4th and 5th tutorial worlds, and along with touring the TU9 world with some gorgeous shaders on and reminiscing with you all about the past, I'm also of course going to be giving out the downloads for this world for both the Bedrock and Java editions of Minecraft, meaning that you'll have the opportunity to relive the nostalgia also. Now, in case anyone is curious as to why I didn't split this video into two different parts covering the TU7 and then TU9 tutorial worlds separately, it's because of how similar both versions are. The only changes between them are the locations of the music discs and the addition of some vines and some changes made to the number of items in chests. That's it. Everything else is pretty much identical, so there's no reason to do both of them individually. So welcome to the End tutorial world. Now when you spawn into this beautiful map, everything feels pretty much the same as always, and maybe that's why people don't really think of this tutorial world as one of their favorites or remember it really that well. The spawn is exactly the same as the TU3, TU5 and TU7 tutorial worlds, with the same piston tutorials, chests with boats and fishing rods in them, and also of course the abandoned miners shelter, making the spawn rather lackluster. Thankfully, when you leave the spawn and travel through the tunnel towards the castle though, you'll find some more interesting and new things, including a chest with a music disc 13 inside of it, along with a jukebox, some arrows and a bow. The more interesting aspect you'll want to investigate though will be the castle that sits just outside spawn, and inside you'll find a number of different and unique things like a staircase leading to a lava pit which conveniently has a lever to build a path across the lava. Then heading back upstairs you'll see two different rooms, the first being a huge library or study room with an enchantment table in it and some useful iron tools and a stack of enchanting bottles, which trust me is just highly entertaining to smash. The next room across from the library which you'll notice is the potion brewing room with a mysterious lava wall. You'll most likely quickly realise that in this room there isn't actually much except from a brewing stand and a chest with some brewing essentials in it. However, there is no blaze powder to fuel the brewing stand, which is I mean, say the least, it's of course fun. Moving upstairs you'll find two bedrooms with nothing inside of them except a lever in one of the rooms that opens a hidden third room which has the nether portal inside of it, and that's about it. Upon leaving the castle you'll be presented with three different paths you can take, the middle taking you of course back to spawn, the right taking you to a nearby desert, and the left taking you to the farm. Now the first thing we'll be checking out of course here is the farm, which is of course on the left path, and there isn't really much to talk about or really to note here. It's just a normal animal and food farm, and being honest, my only goal going here was to get a few doggos for what would be undoubtedly a very long and lonely journey around the map, so yeah, meet Griffin and Miffin. Oh, I also was going to wear a pumpkin on my head for the rest of the tour as I thought it would be funny or somewhat kind of cool, but I just really quickly decided against that because pumpkins absolutely utterly suck and there's no visibility in them. Next I climbed up the ladders on the castle walls to get onto the castle roof to try and get a bit of a better view of the surrounding areas to assess where I'd be journeying to next, and there really wasn't any actual landmarks nearby that I could see except this little sand temple, so that's where I went next. Now to pause for a minute, I think many of us know the drill with normal Minecraft sand temples. There are usually traps that are activated by pressure plates inside of them, so when I went inside this temple, I can't lie, I was a little on edge, you can probably tell by my gameplay, knowing there could be something trying to kill me, and my fears were only heightened when I went down and there was a dispenser and a pressure plate. Thankfully though, my good and brave dog Mr. Muffin was not only completely dumb, but also wildly lucky. So when I activate the pressure plate, the dispenser fired out a sword and didn't activate TNT, killing us both. Inside the chest beneath the dispenser though was the mall disc, so it wasn't that bad. After I left the temple, I honestly didn't really know where I was going next because there wasn't really much nearby to go on adventure or have a look at one up for this video, so I just bred my dogs and made another baby dog that we're going to call Huffin. The next day I started my journey first near the castle, where there was an abandoned house that from the outside looked like it had nothing in it, but when I went inside I found it had ladders that when you went down took you to a basement where you could find the cat music disc. And it was kind of at this point as I was adventuring the world after this that I started to remember why this tutorial world wasn't so ingrained in my memory like its predecessors, and that was because there wasn't really much to it. The world really only had a small castle, a sand temple, and that was really it. I eventually traveled to the distant mountains where I decided to climb to the top of the mountain itself to see if I could see any landmarks by turning my render distance all the way up, which ended up being not only a useless idea, but also a huge jump scare for my PC, which clearly wasn't happy. Now you'd probably imagine that climbing up here to the top of this beautiful mountain, I'd have a plan on how to get down, and if you thought that, you'd be entirely correct. My big brain plan was to use a boat that I had taken from the spawn chest and sail all the way from the top of the mountain down to the bottom. However, I wasn't entirely sure if you took fall damage in boats, as in Legacy Console Edition you didn't, but I knew in Bedrock Edition you actually did. So me and Mr. Muffin took the gamble and sailed straight off the edge. And yeah, to ruin the tension, obviously, you know, we didn't die. The next location we'll be visiting on this world is the Mushroom Island. You might recall I mentioned at the start how Mushroom Islands were now added into the game. Well, here is the first one. On the island, you'll find the weight disc, and that's basically it. There's nothing else here. The whole island was desolate. I mean, I came here at night, but like the entire island was just dead. There was just one disc and that was it. From here, like I said already, this is kind of the reason I think why many people actually forgot about this tutorial world, because there wasn't much more to it. The last place I ended up visiting in the world is this random tower in the woods, which yeah, that's what I'm calling it. That's kind of the name for it. There's not really a name for it, is there? It's just a random tower in the woods. It's got a chest at the top with the war disc, and that's about it. And with that all being said and done, that was pretty much the end of the journey throughout this entire somewhat overshadowed nostalgic tutorial world, which it did feel quite lackluster, I can't lie. Now before I end this video, I want to give credit where it is due, and although I am sharing the map downloads of course for this tutorial world and making this video, obtaining this map would not have been possible without the amazing collaboration and help I received from my good friends and fellow Minecraft LC supporters, Jake, Emmy, and MC4F. These people invested insane amounts of their own time and energy to make this project possible, so please as always go show them some love. Their channels will be linked down below in the description. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video. Thank you all so much for watching it. If you did go to enjoy this video and found it interesting or useful, please share it for your friends and family, drop a like, and if you have any subjects or topics you'd like me to cover in a future video, leave a comment letting me know what they are. Also, please be sure to subscribe to not miss out on any more future content like this, and other than that, hopefully I'll see you peeps later on, guys. Have a fantastic day, and everybody, peace out.